Hey, 21 million, how are you, man? Finally got you in my channel, the legend of Twitter. How are you, man?
Good, my good man. Appreciate you having me. Obviously, this is the first video I have on YouTube, and I wouldn't want to be with anybody else, man. So thank you, of course, for your time, and I think it's gonna be a pretty cool YouTube video, man. Kind of get into a different space, you know.
Of course, and thank you for choosing me to do this because there's options. Thank you very much for approaching me to make this interview, this conversation. Put it in our channels. Super happy for that. Thank you for that too.
Always, man. Always. You do. It's kind of crazy, man. Just in the space. Obviously, we'll get a little more deep into some questions about each other. But for me, seeing your project from the beginning, your space from the beginning, just to see where we come from to now, it's
Exactly.
obviously a journey. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I saw you from very much a few thousand followers. I saw how you grew up,
Right.
and you know me from Twitter because I've been a long time advocating for all this. And wow, I think the two of us we maintained a line. We
Right.
kept a line, and people knows us because of that. Because in Chronos, let's say in crypto Chronos world, you are very known, and I, of course, don't have the amount of followers you have, but when I tweet, I see the engagement because
That's
people knows I've been with this from the beginning, as you, let's say. And it's amazing to have you here, really. I prepared some questions for today because we will do like a little interview, a little conversation. And let's start with the first one. I think it's a good one to kick off. The thing is, dude, you are kind of a legend at this point, right? And you have 34 plus thousand, 34,000 plus followers on Twitter, which is a lot for a niche, let's say, because what we do is, yes, it's massive, but it's not massive as other things. It's huge to have that amount of followers, starting very much from zero, as we said. And so tell us a little bit about your story if you want, what you were doing before, or you keep doing, but you do at the side with Twitter and as an influencer, I guess, the beginnings, and how do you manage to grow so much? If you can explain to us.
for sure, man. First I did start from the account was brand new. I believe I started September of 2021, and I didn't start using it actually until the end of October, beginning of November, right before the lines came out of that same year. Now, what I had got lucky was I had a personal account where I would use to just basically talk about Bitcoin. And now I didn't have a lot of followers, but I had like a few hedge fund managers, to me, people that were important, from either New York City or in the world who followed me. And I forgot if I got locked out the account, I lost the account, what happened.
Yes.
But I was just inspired to just make a new Twitter. And for some reason, I felt that as if I were to make a new Twitter that basically was, again, obviously anonymous, just talked about Bitcoin, taught people, and I could learn myself, then I think I can make a difference. Now, I also didn't know much about NFTs. A friend of mine who was in art would ask for my NFTs. At the time, I wasn't a fan. I just thought they were, I don't want to use the word nonsense. I just didn't really understand them. I didn't care to
Yes.
look at, you know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
And then a certain point hit when I was about to, when I came up with 21 million blockchain works, obviously my at as well. And it hit me. I was like, just because I don't like something doesn't mean that I should not at least know what it is and understand the importance of it.
Of
You know,
course.
so when I started my account, I just started putting things out. One guy I always give a shout out to is NG Darrow. He's actually crypto.com. If you know, obviously, yep, you know who he is.
I know him.
And
Yes.
yeah, so he had a few thousand followers and I had a couple hundred. And he would
Okay.
go on every day and like retweet 20 plus of my tweets. And I would always thank him. And he would say, listen, man, like you're the one that's putting the work in. I'm just giving you at least more people to see what you have going on,
A little push, a retweet is a little push to help you out.
Huge. And because of his retweets, more people would see what I would talk about, whether it be
Yes.
Chronos, Bitcoin, or anything else in general. And someone else, two people I'll give a shout out to is Shark Dog and Sammy Marsami, who both they made a NFT for crofam as a joke. Now
Yes.
my original PFP picture, yeah. So my original PFP picture was the McDonald's sign sideways
I
with a
remember.
B.
Yes. I'm
Yeah,
in that NFT too.
yeah. So that
I'm
was
the guy with the
that,
glasses in the middle.
yeah. So like, yeah, man. So I realized that day when the picture came out, number one, it was a push for me to show that I was considered, like, it was made as a joke. I found out afterwards. But when I woke up that morning and I saw it, I said, wait a second, like, my account's being taken serious. And
Wow.
that gave me a huge amount of inspiration. Secondly, I found that, wait a second, I don't own this picture. And for me, it just kind of clicked why NFTs are important. That second. And from there, again, it was many moments throughout the time where I had small inspirations that gave me the kick to kind of just keep moving, you know?
Yes,
And
amazing what you're
yeah,
saying.
so when I hit 1,000 followers, I think the first thing I meant was a chimp. Then when I got lucky, I happened to wake up early. My hours are always different, my timing of my sleep schedule. And for some reason, like those 2 weeks, I was waking up like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, and
Okay.
going to bed very early the night before. Now, I always put my notifications on for crypto.com or anything in particular that I would like to get. Even though I'm not into NFTs, I want to know about Loaded Lions. I think the night before or something, I got an email for it that morning. I happened to get in lucky. I minted 3 lions, and then from there, it pretty much took over. You know, I got lucky with just kind of helping people, talking to people, especially crypto.com, Chronos, talking about Bitcoin at the time. Of course, where the market was also a good place because I think crypto.com Arena had just been launched. That fall, I also went to Philadelphia when they announced the partnership. So I
Yes.
sat right front court side of the crypto.com logo. And then I also went to the opening day arena for crypto.com. Lakers
In
against,
Los Angeles, huh?
yeah, Los Angeles. I actually, before that, I went to Vegas, stayed in the building that had the advertisement of crypto.com.
I remember, yes.
Yeah. And I posted that picture. And that was a few days beforehand. I drove to LA with my brother. We went to the opening day arena, LA and Brooklyn for Christmas Day, which was also
Okay.
obviously pretty amazing too. And
This
then
was
with
all day on 21, end of 21.
what was that? Yes, yes.
This all happened in the end of 2021.
The end of 2021.
Yes.
December 21st was actually when the first Chronos ecosystem came out.
Exactly,
I remember
yes.
the hotel in Vegas. It was December, so 12, 21, 21. Me and my brother were getting ready to leave the hotel in Vegas to go get a bite to eat or something, go out. And I remember I got an email. Notification. I just finished my 2K giveaway, right? I reached 2,000 followers. I I chose the winners, gave out the prizes. As I'm going to put my shoes on, I get it that I'm in the ecosystem. And I remember I was so full of joy. I mentioned to my brother, and he was like, "Of course, man. Like, what'd you expect? Of course, part of the ecosystem. Like, kind of just this is you. You know what I mean? Trying to get in my head, like, don't be too excited. Play it down. You're supposed to be here. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And then, like I said, man, just from the giveaways, I did a 1K giveaway, a 2K giveaway, a 5K giveaway. I think 15 and then 21. So when I hit a certain milestone, I would just, have people donate prizes that would all go away to the community, so
Okay.
that was something as well. And like I said, for me to jump from 0 followers, I've
Amazing.
hosted stages, yeah, man, with many
But
projects.
but
Yeah,
a lot has to do with you being in the right place at the right moment. Not
100%.
not being lazy. You see what I mean? Not let it.
Yes,
Okay, the account is growing, but I will see what. No. You were proactive. You moved, and
sure.
you were right exactly in the bull run,
Yes,
2021 November December, which were high very hot months for crypto
sure.
in general. So you had that inertia, let's say, and you
Exactly.
moved. You were proactive. You continue working with people. You continue doing your thing. You went to all these places to show that you were there, making the. You see what I
Right.
mean? There's a lot of effort. People needs to know this. It's not only sitting behind the keyboard.
Of course. That's one of the things that I wanted to be not just taken serious, but also to understand that this is, it was more than just being an influencer. There's a lot of people, as you know, man, who just want to put and sell kind of BS, right? Like it's
Yes.
important to understand why Chronos or crypto.com is important. Why is Bitcoin important? What makes a difference with Bitcoin? And we'll get into, more on, but again, for me, I come from a finance background. So I always knew I wanted to get into finance. I finished
Okay.
my degree in finance. You know, I worked my own business. So during the summer months, my brother and I would work. We were busy. again, like you're saying, perfect timing. I had just finished work basically for our season. October comes around, I have time now for the winter. You know what I mean? So this is how I was able to go so much timing into 21 million. Because a
I
lot of
see.
people was, how do you have enough time to do this? If you remember, man, I was hosting like 4 or 5 plus spaces a day. And I didn't have, I never charged for an AMA. I never charged for retweets. And it came, you know, something from Daryl would retweet me. I believe the same thing. You know, there's a lot of projects who've incorporated either 21 million blockchain works or something of mine in their project.
Yes.
Because I was the first one to give them a free space. You know, I was the first one to help them out.
It's
That
a little
also,
bit of helping each other too.
exactly.
And of course you have a good, I think part also of your magic, let's call it, is that you have a good name in Twitter. 21 million is, you know, is a perfect name for this. You have a good handle too. And what you said, this help each other like to grow in a community resonates with me a lot because, you know, the crofam hashtag was made by Nevcas. Nevcas runs a validator. I interviewed him in my channel in YouTube. I have a video with him. And right at the beginning, we created a Telegram group for the crofam, the original crofam. And these people you are mentioning, they are all in this group. We are a few, only a few. The original gang. Okay, at that moment, maybe we were not aligned with you because probably you could have ended up there too in that group. You see what I mean?
Right.
But okay, when it happened with these people. So I know exactly what you mean about helping each other because you will see I also retweet some people, not all of them. You see what I mean? You know who to help because they help you too. In a way, it's a community thing, but honestly, talking about me in my case, I don't give retweets to everybody. It depends. There's a lot of people that will copy what you do, and you see it, and they expect you retweeting that, and you say, "Wait, you're copying what I'm doing on Twitter." You see what I mean?
Right.
And as we said, you put the work on it. In your case, for example, you put the work. You went to places. You moved. You were where you have to be. You put the time. It's a job. It is a job. You have to work.
Sure. For sure. But also, you know, one thing that I love, like I'll give a shout out, 2 shout outs I'll give to. One is Ramen Cash, who hosts a lot of spaces. And he was a person who actually reached out to me first. Not only did I join his Discord, and he was someone who reached out to me, asked me to join his Discord. And when he first said, "Oh, we have some people who are fans of you guys," fans of you, excuse me, I thought he was, you know, kind of pulling my leg or joking around. When I hopped in the Discord, I happened to go through the messages for the past few days before that, and I saw people like 21 million retweeted me, 21 million commented on my tweet or something like this. You know what I mean? So it made a difference.
Because you get to a point where a retweet from you means a lot because you become more than an influencer. You see what I mean? It's 100%. It's like a seal of approval.
Right.
If when I get that you retweet me, my simple tweets that now are trademarks, Who's buying on the crow, for example.
Exactly.
It's a very simple tweet, but I invented that in a way. And when I see that you retweet that, it gives me a smile because I say, okay, he has 33,000 followers. And this, I have a song too about this. I made a song. This is our trademarks, you see. And when you see someone like you retweeting that, you say, wait a minute. I mean, this guy is big. So this is what were happening to you before. You were not 33. You didn't have 33,000 followers yet, but you already had the name.
Yes, I agree. And one thing I'll say for you, I remember you have a very limited follower account.
Yes.
And I remember I was always, because sometimes you would still, like, we would be in talks, you would comment. I remember when you followed me, and I was like, all right, this guy thinks that I'm serious. You know what I mean? And he knows that I'm
so I know what you mean.
I appreciate that as well, because I was like, all right, this is exactly, you know, of course people want always a large number, but it's not always how many people, but it's who's following you.
Who's following you.
You know what I mean?
There is an explanation for this, because if you see my account, I follow less than 150 people. And there is an explanation for this. Many people especially people that follows me on YouTube said to me, man, I follow you and you didn't follow me back. And I say, no, I don't follow you back because I use Twitter for, in my case, because I make YouTube videos of informative videos about crypto. I use Twitter as a tool. And if I follow 5,000 people, my thing gets messed up.
For sure.
I have Twitter so well managed with the people I have to follow that I get the streams of information I need for my job. You see, it is in a way an influencer account, but not like you are an influencer. You see the difference? I use Twitter to have stream information for my YouTube channel, to make my videos, to see what I will talk about that day. And if I start to follow a lot of people that get, I know you can maybe in Twitter, you can maybe tweak Twitter to say, show me this, show me that, but I prefer to keep it simple. So a lot of people say, wait a minute, why this guy only follows 100 people? Why is he doing that? I will not follow him. So this is also why my account doesn't have a lot of followers, because some people will not follow you if you don't follow them.
I'm back, right.
And when I saw what you were doing, I say, this is an account I want to follow. This is an account I can. I don't want it to sound bad or pejorative, but I want to use the word useful. You see what I mean?
100%.
I use useful for my job. It's useful for what I do in YouTube, what I do with my videos, with my channel, what I do with the. So I follow you, and I saw you follow me back, and I said, "That's, you see, this guy understands." You see what I mean? Because not a lot of people will follow you back, even because they see you don't follow too much people. They don't like it.
Yeah, and that's it's a tool, man, for free. You know what I mean? Like, we should use Twitter. And first of all, I think that everybody has a right to use Twitter the way they want to use it. You know what I mean? You shouldn't judge someone to use it. But it's, you know, some people I know, same thing with Ty Lucky, another person who, when I hosted mental health spaces, I found him that way, or he found me, I should say, I think that way, gave me a shout out on YouTube, which was another inspiration to me, because I was like, okay, what I'm doing on Twitter is now being brought to a different platform. And obviously, I have a great relationship. We've met in person a few times. But this is exactly what I'm saying. You know, people will say to me, it's like, it's Ty's page. You know what I mean? Who am I, or anyone else, would say what Ty should do with his page? You know what I mean? So,
yes. Let's show a little bit your Twitter so people can see. So we are here in your Twitter, 21 minutes. Of course, you have a Love the Lion, my friend.
Yes. So,
the legend.
You changed it, but
it cannot be. It has to be a Love the Lion. Of course, we are talking about the most famous NFTs of crypto.com. Of course, the biggest project they have, and they are about to launch Main City.
Yes.
The Lions, 34,000 followers, amazing. Soon you will be 40,000. And it says here, we will talk about this. It says here, Cronos Chain Ambassador. We will talk about this. And as you said, I see you retweet certain people, as we said. And for example, Santoshi is a shout out to Santoshi, legend. I interview him in the channel.
Yes.
And he is in the Telegram group of the crofam, I said to you before.
Wow. Okay.
You know, you have the. We all know each other, huh? And
sure.
Can anyone guess which crofam member I'll be making my first YouTube video with? Cronos. Wow, man, I didn't saw this. Let me comment this. Probably that nothing. Probably nothing. You don't follow a lot of people, huh? Comparing to you see.
It's almost about 6,000 followers. A lot of people I've met through the time. So the ratio might be a little bit higher, but still, I agree with what you're saying to a certain extent, because I like to when I go on there, when I try to do more times, I'll go on my feed, and I'll also search Bitcoin, crypto.com, Cronos, things that are important to me, and then see who's tweeting those things. You know what I mean? So it gets difficult at a certain number, though.
And you agree with me? I have a saying. I say it in YouTube all the time, that the future of crypto will be defined on Twitter.
They are, to me, I think Twitter is the most useful social media, because you can interact with people on a different level. You know, if I have an Instagram, you have to have an Instagram to see my tweets. You know, and obviously you have to have my pictures, but you also have to follow me. Where you don't technically have to follow me to comment and see my tweets. You know what I mean? You do have to have
exactly. You can engage without. You can engage directly.
Exactly, and again, you can have a conversation easier. To me, Twitter is a platform that I prefer for sure.
Amazing. I think Twitter is a fundamental for all we do. Huh? It's a. I will be worried if Twitter disappears. Huh? You see what I mean?
That's for sure.
Yes. So
hopefully Elon.
Yeah, no. Hopefully, as you say, hopefully Elon will do something good and related to Dogecoin. Today we had a new news that eToro, the broker, is doing something with Twitter. Probably will allow Twitter users to buy directly into the platform. We will see. We'll see because things are moving. Huh? This was news from today. We need to confirm this. Second question here in the questionnaire, my friend. We can see you're a big advocate of crypto.com. What is your relationship with them? We already saw you're an ambassador.
Yes.
You can tell us a little bit more. What is your relationship with crypto.com and what do you do as an ambassador and all that?
For sure. So, one thing I would always joke about was that I was an ambassador before actually becoming an ambassador. You know, I think the way I held my account, the way I talked about crypto.com and Cronos, the way I helped projects pretty much get free promotion for crypto.com and Cronos, to me was huge. One thing I always say, it was January 29th, 2021 was the first time I ever bought crypto.com coin at the time. And what happened was I originally back in 2017 started trading on Binance before while the transaction fees were still in Bitcoin. And obviously where I am located, I was not able anymore to trade with Binance. I looked for a new marketplace basically to go to. And normally, I know I've said it before, I would never invest in a coin with 100 billion tokens. To me, obviously, my name 21 million. Why 21 million is very important. And for me, 100 billion just was way too much to get into. And what caught me was the description of crypto.com. They wanted to help international business international transactions with international businesses. And I'm paraphrasing here, I apologize, but to me, I understand as someone who owns a business how many transactions you make compared to my own personal self, right? If they are using on the crypto.com network, it's going to be something that number one is a use case. Number two is 100 billion is not going to seem like anything. At the time, Chris, and again, just like you're saying, to me, my whole story is timing. I just happened to find things with timing. That day, I remember just having a gut feeling like, should I get into it or should I keep looking? I read a couple other exchanges, and we don't even have an exchange in the US, so I can't even trade with it. But I just pretty much fell in love with it from the start. Chris would have an AMA once a month at that time. I think about a month later, they burned 70 billion coins. About a month after that, they came out with the DeFi wallet. If you remember, man, it was I think like 150% at first to stake your crypto.com coin. Which is still obviously great, but for me, to
me that was paramount when I saw they were going to launch their own blockchain, the mainnet.
For who?
For crypto.com. When I saw they were about to launch their own blockchain, I said, "This is it."
Yeah,
it means this is serious.
Definitely, and again, for me, it was also the amount of anybody. If you saw my FTX, I don't want to give them a shout out, but how much money they put into advertisements. What I liked was number one. Again, it was before the DeFi wallet. The debit card. You can use a debit card personal and as a business. You get cash back for every purchase you have.
Yes.
So for me, I'm buying material or supplies every single day. I getting cash back. When this thing goes through a bull run, I'm gonna make more money on my cash back than you know what I mean?
And the card was available for you where you live. So everything was given to you to use it.
Right. And at that time, you had to stake 50,000 coins. It wasn't with the dollar amount the way it is now.
Exactly.
Yeah,
yes.
So with the green card, I should say. I think it was like 5,000, 50,000, right? Something like that.
It's the one I took too. I took that one in December of 2020.
Okay, all right. So literally, probably about yeah, exactly a month or two before me, because I was this when I first purchased it. I purchased December, um, sorry, January 29th, but it was without the card. I had just purchased Crow, and
Yes.
then about a week or two after that, so it was beginning of February, where I had found the card and obviously did more research. But again, the card pays you on a weekly basis. So to
Yes,
me, I
yes.
was like, I'm getting cash back, I'm getting interest on my Crow. And then again, you know, the DeFi wallet came out. I remember speaking to a lot of people. I would post about it, and I was more into Reddit at the time, not Twitter, about crypto.com and Chronos. I remember I think the crypto.com page on Reddit had a little less than 20,000 followers around there.
Yes.
And I remember when I started 21 million, I think it had like over 150K or something, you know, so it made a huge change. I obviously don't go on Reddit as much anymore.
No, me
Since I,
neither. Yes.
yeah, I don't know if you do. Do you go on Reddit at all, or?
No, not at all. I never really use it. It's not very famous between let's say I'm from Argentina. I speak Spanish. It's not very known
Big on?
in, let's say, Spanish community people.
Okay,
Twitter it is. It's more international, let's say, Twitter. And Reddit, I think, is more an American thing in a way.
okay,
Uh, it's used I live in Europe now. It's used in Europe, but it's not used as it's used in United States. United States is a staple. Everyone knows Reddit in a
for
way,
sure.
you know. But I hear what you're saying, because the card, actually, I always thought is a product of crypto.com that they made only to onboard people. I don't know to which point generates revenue for them having the card. I even think the card is a loss for crypto.com, but they have 70 million users now. So the card was a way, this is what I'm thinking, to onboard people into the platform. Because once you have the card, you will keep using the app. And if you
Right,
keep using the app, you open the app and probably you will be tempted to buy something. And
right.
crypto.com makes the money with the fees. So the card was
Yeah,
a masterful movement. They say, let's go with the card, because the card will onboard people and they will use the app because of the card, because you put money on the card, you see the movement, you go and check the cashback, of course. You see what I mean?
yeah. The Netflix, also Spotify at the time. That,
Exactly. And it's
yeah.
normal that they had to reduce some benefits. I prefer they reduce the benefits, but the company is alive. So yes, I was saying I got the card in December 2020. Actually the last day of the year, the 31 at night, the last
Wow.
minutes of the year, I got the card of crypto.com, and it arrived middle of March. It was a lot for me,
Wow.
2 weeks and a half of waiting. It was a long wait, and the digital card wasn't available yet. So I couldn't really use the card until the card arrived to my house.
Yeah, so we were lucky because in America they were shipped from Florida. So I was reading online how people were waiting months for it. I think it
Okay.
was Australia. I was reading on Reddit at the time. People from Australia, I think, weren't getting it for a long time. I forgot people from Europe or where they were, but they weren't getting it for a long time. When I applied for it, I think I got it in 6 days, I believe. So it wasn't even a full week.
Wow.
And
Wow.
yeah, and we were like right away, like this is what we have to go with, my brother and I. And again, for me, like you said, not only with onboarding, but you have in America, you buy and sell at a premium. You know, if you want to buy crypto or sell crypto, because you don't have an exact exchange.
Yes.
Also, like you said, man, for me, the onboarding, one thing that stuck with me, and another shout out for Ty Lucky, because he had mentioned this, he never thought about it this way. And this is one of the things with 21 million, where I wanted to bring my perspective of, you know, from a financial world, and also get other people's. Because again, for someone who comes in finance, one thing you know is you never know, you don't really know anything, right? Anything can
Of
happen
course.
tomorrow, no matter what the
Of
past
course.
was.
Yes. Yes.
So, you know, Chris, excuse me, wanted to have 100 million users by this year at that time, about 2 years ago.
I remember.
And 30 billion by 100 million is only 300 coins per person. And I was like,
Yes.
if most people are staking them, whether it be DeFi wallet, I don't know if it was at that time, or but just crypto.com wallet, right? Or in the crypto.com centralized exchange, this thing could be something huge. And it's gonna make a jump. And that was my first belief from the beginning. You know, so really, man, like you said, the onboarding effect. Now think about this. Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles is one of the most famous arenas in the world.
In the
They
world.
also not only have Los Angeles Lakers, one of the most famous teams, but think about, I think it was the Grammys they hosted, or one of those award
Recently.
shows.
Yes, recently.
Right. Very recently. They also have tons and tons of live music, concerts,
Yes,
concerts.
yes,
You know
yes,
what I
yes.
mean? So for me, there's, that's one thing I've always talked about. It's more than just people who are basketball fans. Think about the music, the people who enjoy music, going to go watch a musician that have never even heard of crypto. When they go walk in there, what are they going to see? Crypto.com plastered everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's huge. It's huge. But these are things you and me we see. But everybody, of course, is concentrated in the fall of FTX, in the fall of Celsius, in the bear market. You see what I mean? Nobody is seeing the work Crypto.com is putting in for the next bull run. And that will be huge because you already have the base. And Chris was saying, bear markets are made for building because you can concentrate on build and not in the hype.
Right.
And what you're saying is like that. But a lot of people is concentrated in the price of CRO, let's say, in the price of CRO. They just want to see the price go up. I also want to see the price go up, but I invested long term. So I see what the company is doing. What you said, the arena in Los Angeles, one of the most famous in the world. Every time you make a concert, people that never thought about investing in crypto will see crypto.com. And the app is super easy to use, super friendly. You are buying in 5 minutes. If you open the app of Binance, it's difficult to use. It has a lot of things inside. You see what I mean?
Because it's difficult to understand.
Yes, they have everything in one app: the DeFi wallet, the exchange, the centralized app. You see what I mean?
Right.
So I know exactly what you mean, and it comes right on the third question, which is, what do you think about the future of Crypto.com, CRO, mainnet, and Cronos chain?
For Crypto.com, I believe that and I was just gonna say, sound cliche, but the future is very bright from the amount of users they're bringing in. Now, just from the exchange, again, the name Crypto.com, number one, is genius, because when someone searches up crypto, to me, that's how I came across it. I was looking up crypto exchanges, and what's the first thing? The first thing I saw was Crypto.com.
It's like you sell a car, and the car brand is car, and you have car.com.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So literally, like, to me, it's genius. Number one, the amount of people that are onboarded to crypto. If you remember when they had shared their holdings with Twitter, Chris had posted it, and it was mostly hosting, I think, Shiba, right? And I forgot, it was like some meme coins. Chris that came out and said, "This is what our people are holding." You know what I mean? And I was someone who never really was an advocate for meme coins, but I forgot who said it on Twitter Space one time. I was like, meme coins bring in a lot of people, and yes, they might get burned, but they'll at least be in crypto and they'll understand. Now, to me, I can understand that, and I see why that can be used as a positive. You know what I mean? Because
of course,
you make a lot of money. Whether it be Shiba, Dogi, whatever it is.
Even Elon Musk says that memes in general are a tool to use. They move
for sure
masses. It's like that. Because
memes control the world.
Exactly, it's a product of the internet.
Yeah,
and the internet
it sounds crazy, but really too. There's like that. People. Yeah, if you remember, I remember Elon Musk posting a picture of like a sand cloud going over a city with the doggy's face. Do you remember that?
Yes,
yes. Who controls the memes controls the world. And I was
of course,
this guy's a genius, man.
And when you are in a bull market like that, and you make a coin with a beautiful dog, it goes all into the eyes. People will say, "I buy that because I like the dog."
Yeah,
you see,
there's a lot of people who like the dog. When people got Shiba, I don't know even what the dog is called, but the Shiba
Inu.
Yeah, that was how many dogs I've seen of those in like New York City. It's like, from that, I think, is crazy. So, crypto is here to stay. Now, again, for me, when we talk to the Chronos side, I was recently at GDC, and I think there's a lot of work that, number one, Chronos has to do.
Just to clarify, is the gaming developer conference.
Yes, thank you. I apologize. gaming
Yes.
development conference that was in San Francisco.
Okay.
Now, there was a great representation of not just Web3, but also crypto. So I was planning on wearing my AVAX jersey that I received from over there. But I kind of moved to 21 last term, last second, excuse me, from New York City. So over there, seeing how many people were not only interested in Web3, but how many companies, if they weren't in Web3 now, were going to get into it. Now,
Yes.
one of the reasons I've kept my Lion so much, most people will say you're an advocate for Cronos, you're an advocate for decentralization. Why the Lion? To me, I've had so many people, whether it be a giveaway, whatever it might be, that come to my page because of my Lion that have never heard of Cronos, and they could be on crypto.com.
Yes.
So for me, I've used it as a way because I've had people win giveaways from me, and I'll say, hey, can you send me your Cronos ID? Your Cronos, I guess shout out to Cronos ID. That's not what I meant. They're OX, the Cronos OX, and they'll send me the centralized version, the centralized address. I'm like, no, like your Cronos address. And like, what do you mean? They have no idea what it is. So for me, the Lion has in a sense onboarded and made that bridge to Cronos for a lot of people. So that's the reason I've kept a loaded Lion for so long. I kept it, and shout to my brother Burryman, because he's actually the reason why I kept it so long. Because he was like, listen, man, don't ever switch this Lion. This Lion is business. This Lion is you. Now, after a certain time, I kind of just started messing around, switching things. But there were so many people who would message me and be like, man, I can't even find you because I'm looking for the Lion,
Because it's your trademark.
Exactly, which kind of stinks because you really can't, you don't own the IP rights to it technically, but I'll take it. Joel Embiid has it from the 76ers. And to me, it's obviously made a huge difference, but
yes,
for me,
yeah. Sorry, to clarify for some people that doesn't know, that the NFTs of the Loaded Lions NFTs that initially were minted in the mainnet, they were migrated to the Cronos chain. Because some people get confused. You have two blockchains, the mainnet and the Cronos blockchain. So when you say they made the bridge, is when they migrated all the Loaded Lions to the Cronos blockchain.
Right. And what I'm saying was
just to clarify.
Yeah. No, thank you. I was actually speaking for myself because with that Loaded Lion, like every day people look into it. Every day people, like I'll have a Loaded Lion follow me that doesn't have a lot of followers. They'll be brand new looking at other Loaded Lions. Now, when that person who has a Loaded Lion follows me, they're going to get into Cronos. Do you know what I mean? So to me, that's one of the reasons why, I mean, obviously, man, just not to sound again, cocky, but bullish on myself and with Cronos, because the amount of people that I've been able to bring from zero to the following now.
No, but you can say without being cocky, is the truth. You started from zero.
Confidence, man. Yeah.
Yes.
Jadakiss has a line. It's not cocky, it's confidence. And when you tell me I'm the best, it's a compliment. So I definitely agree, man. And for me, that's why I believe in Cronos. It's a smaller chain right now. It might not have as many projects, might not have as much volume as some of the larger chains. But to me, having the backing of Crypto.com, which is one of the largest centralized exchanges in the world, we use the same token. Imagine where the future can be. Now,
of course,
there are so many things, we'll get into gaming in a little bit. For me, Cronos has a huge future because of how small it is, right?
Exactly.
It's a very tight-knit community, very small chain. And to have the backing, again, it has a couple million users, where Crypto.com has close to 100. I think they have, right? I think you said 70, but if I remember at GDC, they had said like a little over 80 or 90, something like that, but not 100 million just yet.
It's not far away that they will get to 100 million, even in a bear market. You see,
exactly.
We are because the sentiment still is not the best. Still, you get people in.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
I mean, the sentiment in general, to the average people around that maybe put money on Bitcoin and they sold at a loss, and now it's hard for them to come back. You see what I mean?
100%. And if you don't mind, the two reasons I came up with 21 million and blockchain works was for this. I want people to understand why it's important to have a cap at 21 million and not have a supply that's endless, pretty much. And
unlimited supply.
Blockchain works. Something so simple. The blockchain just works. And blockchain technology.
Now we know why blockchain works.
Yeah, literally just. I want people to understand it's more than just crypto. The blockchain technology behind Bitcoin is something that's it's so innovative. You know what I mean? It's so many companies that are going to be using blockchain and not even have to use the crypto side. You know, so those
Yes,
two
yes.
things to me, people would ask me, you know, at first, I'm looking for 21 million, but you're asked blockchain works is confusing. But I wanted to keep it for a reason. And obviously after a certain amount of time, it just became, you know, what it became. But like you're saying, man, to me, it's one of those things where again, I'm gonna reiterate it, 100 million users on crypto.com, right? Not counting the centralized side. 30 billion coins is only 300 coins per person.
Yes.
Most of us that are here have way more than 300. You know what I mean?
Of course. It's a limited supply. It's a company that proved to be solid even in the worst of the times when big
Right.
players were coming down, were falling down. And
Yeah.
Binance is first. No, not because I always say this. Binance is first, not because Binance is better than Crypto.com. It's because Binance was first in the game. They got first with the Binance Smart Chain. Crypto.com follow behind a little
Yeah.
bit. It's a timing thing, but Crypto.com has the base and all the tools to onboard all the people they want now. So it's just, to me, a matter of time. As long as they keep doing what
100%.
they do, you know? Of course.
100%. 100%. And, you know, again, to me, it just, I guess that simple, man. You know, they're going to make a huge change. Again, Binance, I was on it before they had BNB transaction fees. And it's one of those things where they had a bull run, basically a head start, like you're saying. And
Exactly.
I'm glad that you said that because it's very important for people to know. They have the most volume because I remember trading BNB with my brother between $5 and $10. And I remember in 2018, when everything was in a bear market, they hit an all-time high of $40. And I was like, oh shit, like people are still trading. Like no one gives a shit that it fell from 20,000, excuse my language, but from
Yes,
20,000
yes,
to
yes.
3,000. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes, yes. So they
So
they
it
had a
was
head start,
important.
as you said, they had a head start. Imagine that Crypto.com in 17 they were starting. The company was
Right,
starting in 2017.
right.
And
And one
now,
thing I'll also say for the numbers, I think at $33, crypto.com is $1 trillion market cap. Now, Bitcoin has about a $500 billion, something like that, right? You know,
yes,
for me, $15 is basically a $500 billion market cap. You know, we're at 7 cents. Like, we are so early on crypto.com. It's actually amazing.
we can talk about that now in the coming questions, because I usually don't like to give. A lot of people follows me on YouTube and they will follow what you say. You know, like you have
For sure.
the Bible in you. But you and me, we can agree that 7 cents is very cheap for CRO.
I first got into it, again, January, I believe 29th, was just over 6 cents, like 6.5, 6.6, something like that. You know what I mean? So the fact that we're back there now is, I mean, insane.
Insane. And even when you see that, because a lot of people will say no, so it's dead because it's back to the price for 2.5 years ago or 3 years ago, whatever.
Right.
They don't see the opportunity. You have a second chance, and that second chance
100%.
was given by external factors. It's not the fault in a way of crypto.com. External factors that happen in the world. A lot of things happen at the same time. A lot of things were rearranged in a way, and you have the fall in general of the crypto industry. And let's not talk about the fact that the US is trying to stop crypto in a way, or at least the actual political party you have there now. It's not easy when you have the SEC behind you, when they breathe in your neck, when you see what I mean, when they don't approve see the case of Coinbase. Coinbase, for them, is impossible. They are saying.
Right.
So I think we can totally agree. CRO at 7 cents is a bargain.
100%. You know, even
100%.
back to $1 is over 10 times your money.
Yes, yes.
You know what I mean? Like, it's amazing.
Insane, but it's like that. So next question, my friend. What other project, maybe we talk about a little bit already, but what other projects do you vouch for? You see potential, or you follow them, you invest on them, or other than crypto.com, CRO, Cronos, and all that?
Well, I'll give you two projects that I actually work with, and I'll be a
Okay.
little biased with my answer, but I'll give you why. Not only do I work with these projects, I choose to partner with these projects, but why I believe with them and set them as a standard, not just for Chronos, but NFTs in general.
Okay.
Boomer Squad #1 and DigiPals #2. Now, Boomer
Okay.
Squad is besides myself, the core 11 are completely docs #1. They have a LLC, which protect both sides, right? We know that they're a registered business.
We can say
Yeah,
limited liability company for the
building
people that
company.
doesn't know. Yes.
Yes, thank you. And they have a 5-year roadmap, right? They came to Kronos. They could have worked on many different chains, but they wanted to build pretty much a new chain. I'll say almost like an infant chain, right?
Okay.
Over at Kronos. So they actually today, I believe, was this morning our time, reached 1,000 followers. So excuse me, 1,000 followers, 1,000 holders. Excuse me.
Holders.
So for me, this is something where they are making that difference because not only have they increased, I believe the public mint was 420 crore. They're around 13 or 1,500 crore now with their floor price. And one thing I loved about the team, they never cared about their floor price. They don't care to talk about it. It's not about making a lot of money. It's about actually being innovative, right?
Okay.
With smart chains, we're able to transfer money. Like no one really talks about this. There's a lot of things that happens with these just pictures that we're making. And now when it comes back to the Digipal side, not only have they proved to be successful with creating with running business, with Web2, which doesn't always translate to Web3, but they're also the most backed VC company or project that's on Chronos. So
Yes.
obviously it's not just us, the people who believe in them, but also many people who are big players believe in them, right? And
I
huge
have
shout out
I
to yeah,
I have an interview with Digipal's ambassador in the channel.
nice,
The
awesome,
guy
awesome.
speaks Spanish, so we did it in Spanish, but totally into Web3. He left his job, his normal day job, to work on Web3 and NFTs. Imagine. So you were saying
100%.
DigiPulse is big, and I saw them a lot now in the conference, in the gaming conference. They
Yes.
had. Tell us if you want a little bit about DigiPulse, because it's another project you vouch for.
So DigiPals, one thing I would say with them is that they are actually creating about 4 or 5 games on different chains. Now the
Okay.
next game, yeah, will be released on Polygon. Now I've always been an advocate for cross chain because now their bases, obviously their tokens are going to always be on Chronos. Now their game on Chronos currently, the next game that comes out will be over on Polygon. Now with their game on Polygon, think about the people who are going to come in. Now, Polygon has a lot of money, a lot of users, and a lot of volume. These
Yes.
people get into the game, start enjoying the game, start liking the game. What do you think is going to happen? Same love is going to come to Chronos, and vice versa. You know what I mean? So to me, they create fun games. Kit, huge shout out to Kit. He's a gamer himself. I think that you have to have a balance of the founders and people who are running the business. And to me, NFT project is like running a business. A lot of people
Yes,
might
of
not look
course.
at it that way, but you're managing money, you're managing people, and you're managing investors. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
So to me, they are building games from the perspective of a gamer, not from the perspective of a businessman.
I
Do you
see
know what
what
I
you
mean?
mean. I see what you
So
mean.
that's what the difference is for me, because there are people who, on their free time, enjoy playing games.
It's
Not someone who,
games made by gamers.
exactly. And that to me is huge because they want to they want to create something that they currently or actually enjoy. You know what I mean?
That
So
they will play.
yeah, right. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of people who are only creating something more for the fun, for
Yes.
the money to be made, not for like them that are creating something more for not just the innovation of the Web3 where we are, but for, like you're saying, the enjoyment of themselves to actually play. You know what I mean? So
And
that
they
to
are
me is one of the key differences. And they also have a
yes.
5-year roadmap as well, both DigiPals too.
So they will launch on the next game
Polygon.
on Polygon. Polygon is a
Yeah.
big chain, known,
Yes.
fast, also a fast
And
blockchain that works very good. Huh?
they also had a huge part of the gaming development conference, again, like I was speaking in earlier, of San Francisco. And they also, DigiPal team has over 60 employees, full-time employees. So they are a very large team. We're international, people pretty much in every time zone. So for me, again, those two projects set the standard for me when I look at an NFT project. Why should I invest in this project? And huge, again, shout out to Boomer Squad and the DigiPal team, you know?
Yeah, we send a huge shout out from here for them. I hope they see the interview, of course, and because
Definitely.
it's good to also to see that people like you and me that have been working on this for a long time. We talk about all this. You see what I mean? We talk, yes, DigiPass, yes. We know them. I know them. I see them on Twitter all
Right.
the time. It's an account I follow, for example. You see?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
They're important to follow for sure.
Yeah. So the next one is NFTs and tokens. Everything goes a little bit is related, with the last one.
Right.
NFTs and tokens. What is your flavor? Do you see NFTs becoming the next big thing on gaming? And we were talking about this, about GameFi, gaming, Web3. So, of course, you have NFTs and you have tokens. We already talked about this. Inside the game, you will have tokens for the game, and probably you will also use NFTs. So, when I ask him what is your flavor, is what do you usually go for? Tokens in a game, NFTs on a game? How do you see the future of NFTs on gaming in general?
So when I was at the Gaming Development Conference, when I went to the Avalanche, which had a huge setup as well as Polygon, they had all types of games. It wasn't just first-person shooter. I played racing games. I played games where you worked as a team against, a computer. For me, I want to play against something where I have fun. I have memories. I enjoy playing with the people who are around me, my gamer squad, whether it be in Web3 or real life. It's not about just the NFTs or the tokens behind them.
Okay.
I think that like a year ago or 2 years ago, I forgot. I think around this time, there was a lot of, and I forgot the exact word, but when you play a game and pretty much win tokens, that was one of the biggest like hypes. And I forgot.
Yes.
I apologize. What the name was? The exact.
No problem. I see the strategy. I see what you mean. That you were playing
Right.
just to gain tokens.
Right, and it became a failure because number one, you had people who were just playing to get as much money out of the system as you could. Number one, so they didn't actually enjoy it. They were doing it more for the money. The concept was there, but it wasn't exactly developed correctly, if you know what I mean.
Exactly.
So
the use case of the token in that case was wrong.
Right.
It was
right,
only to give it away, and people will collect it, play just the longest they can to get the token. No use on the token.
Play to earn.
Play
Was
and
what
earn.
it was called.
Play and
exactly.
earn.
Exactly. So, their idea was people play video games. Who's not going to love a game where you get to play and get paid for it? Yes. Now, my whole thing is that I think it was CSGO. Now, again, like I said before, and we'll keep this part, I'm from Albania. CSGO still, like after some 20-something years, is one of the biggest games here that almost everybody plays. They will not change. Huge shout out to the Bad News Eagles, the only esports professional team from Albania. They are really good at CSGO. And for me, I think every year there's like a item sold that's very rare in CSGO for always a good amount, like tens of thousands of dollars. This is where the difference is going to be. You look at a game like Fortnite. I play myself very often since I've gotten into Web3, and there's many people who put a lot of money into skins that they'll never get anything for it. Now, imagine if we had things where you could unlock and you play and you put hours into it, and with that, you can actually sell it. You know what I mean? Yes. It's important to say that both Xbox and PlayStation are coming out with their own wallets, which I think is going to be huge. Yeah,
because one problem you have now, for example, with Steam and all the game inside the Steam, you do purchases on game and you cannot transfer them to another player. And this is what will be solved with blockchain.
Exactly.
It will be solved with blockchain, basically. NFTs and tokens, and you can transfer them between wallets.
Right. And one thing that I appreciate when I'm in the Twitter space or I'm on Twitter, when I ask people, what is it? Why can't we get from gamers to Web3? The answer usually is because they don't like, and this is something I believe myself, they don't like the crypto bros, that idea, right? The people who are in crypto are more of the, kind of frat people, for lack of a better word. People who are just, okay, you buy this, you make $1 million overnight. when I was at the gaming development conference in San Francisco, what I noticed was they were not only true developers, true builders, but people who were generally interested on how blockchain and Web3 can make a difference in their company or in their space. And number one, mobile gaming is going to be huge, and it already is huge, I should say. And like you're saying, man, be able to transfer something, when gamers come over, I didn't hear one gamer say, "Oh, screw crypto," or "Crypto is dumb." Every single person wanted to know why Cronos, why Avalanche, why Polygon. You know what I mean? Why Mutable X? Huge shout to them as well.
Yeah, because imagine we are playing the same game, and let's say we make a team, and I want to transfer my gems, the things you buy inside the game, the in-game purchases. That this could very well be NFTs. An asset in the blockchain, whatever, an NFT or a token, and I can transfer it. And my wallet actually is my username. You see,
yeah,
this is why now your wallet has a name. You see where it's going. So that will be your username in the game. In a way, you can have an alias from that wallet. You see what I mean? You can have an alias, but that is your login. Let's call it like that. Even if decentralized, if you can call it decentralized in Web3, it will be your way to identify your wallet. And I will be able to transfer to you things into. So yes, it's the use case is so clear. It's so clear. It's just a matter of time.
Right. It's going to bring a lot of people. It's going to be a huge. To me, it's going to be a next wave of adoption.
Yes. And Chris knows this, because Chris has been, Chris from Crypto.com, the CEO of Crypto.com, he's been talking about GameFi a lot, and he said, we are very, very interested in GameFi. And if you think about it, Cronos, in a way, is going towards gaming. Cronos, the blockchain. A lot of projects about gaming. Yes. So
they've been, if you look at the people who have received Cronos grants recently, a lot of them have been people who either create games or something around gaming,
Yes, totally. So we are back, and you have a new shirt, Love the Lion shirt, of course. Beautiful, man.
Yeah,
it's your trademark. It's your trademark.
Life, man. So I found the Love the Lion shirt. This is I got from the Gaming Development Conference. Few videos. I got some stuff from over there. So I'll have some Avalanche jersey. I'll have some Polygon stuff. I think I got Mutable X. What else do I have? Chronos. A whole bunch of stuff that I'll have some. Like I said, some Easter eggs, basically.
That's good, man. That's good to have, huh? Let's talk about a little bit about the future in general of crypto. What do you think about the future of crypto, in particular in the US? Because as we know, for example, the SEC, the Securities Exchange Commission, is a little bit fighting the industry in a way. What do you think? We already talked a little bit about this, but what do you think in general about the future of crypto? Long term.
For sure. One of the first memes I saw, and again, we talk about the memes that got me into understanding Bitcoin, was in 2014. There was a meme that it said 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014. And it showed a shopping cart where the dollar got you less in your shopping cart and Bitcoin over time got you more in your shopping cart. Now, when I saw that in 2017, I remember thinking, oh shit, this is still true. And that's the name, again, we're 21 million. There'll never be more than 21 million Bitcoin, right?
Yes.
Every 4 years, it takes the miners double the power to create half the Bitcoin. To me, where do I see the future with crypto? I think you see, number one, and we're going to, not to get into politics, but it has a huge part of Bitcoin. BRICS is doing their best right now to create their own currency. There are a lot of countries right now that are looking to trade or use an alternative, basically something alternate to the dollar, right?
Yes.
And they might become their own currency. There's a few countries coming out with the centralized bank digital currency, a CBDC, as we say.
Yes.
There's also states, and one thing I love, God bless USA, I will say, but in the United States, each state is almost like its own country.
Exactly.
Now, Texas, pro Bitcoin, California, of course, Minnesota, I believe it was. Now, don't quote me, I apologize, but
I think Florida is also very much pro crypto.
Yeah, Florida is very much pro Bitcoin, but there was a state that recently just passed encouraging people, I believe, to mine Bitcoin.
Okay.
Where somewhere City, it's actually illegal for energy purposes. They're saying, there's so many people in this one area that they don't want it. Now, for me, again, most people who know, I'm from Albania. If I want to send money to somebody in Albania, or a family member in Albania, we, number one, have to go to a bank. Now, from $1 to euro, I'm losing money, number one. Number two, I have to pay a fee to send money, and they also have a fee to withdraw the money sometimes, depending on if they use MoneyGram, or if they go to a bank, you just are losing more money on the exchange. So
yes. And, and it's not instantly.
Exactly, and you have to do it within their hours and their work, right? Whenever they are working. So for me, the importance is that just like El Salvador, where most of the money comes from the outside, Bitcoin, I can send it right now to who I want to. I don't have to ask anybody, right? Crypto.com, first of all, is not in Albania or New York City. So sometimes I find it amazing that this is the chain I chose to build on, because technically it's in neither one of my homes, right?
Yes.
But the world is moving forward, right? Not only with gamers, but every single person right now. I'm in my late 20s. Anybody that's in the early generation, with teenagers or younger, has a cell phone in their pocket. They are born with it. It's a part of their everyday basis. Not just older people, especially, right? They don't know life without it.
Of course.
To think that they will not be in crypto or using crypto as some form of payments is almost absurd, right?
Absurd, yes.
Instead of using a different currency and figure out what currency to use for trade, Bitcoin will be the currency to me for everything. So I don't think it's only just a store of value, but I believe that it's something where it makes it much easier. I don't have to use US dollar. I don't have to use another currency. We all have Bitcoin. It's all over the internet. We don't have to ask anybody. It's peer-to-peer network, Now, again, that's to circle back to crypto.com. B2B was one of the things where I actually got into it at that time. But for me, the future is that there are so many people who don't understand Bitcoin. They think you have to have 20 or 30,000 now. I forgot the exact price to buy one Bitcoin. They don't understand that you could buy one Satoshi, right? Or use a few Satoshi.
Exactly. Yes.
Also, they don't understand the unit of measure of a Satoshi. I think it's very important to put out there. Now, I don't want to talk in circles, so I apologize. To me, the future of Bitcoin is going to bring the world together, right? Because number one,
and you, sorry to interrupt, you make the distinction between Bitcoin and crypto, because I hear this a lot.
Yes, and I've always been an advocate for it, because as obviously my name 21 million, and I'm not one of those guys that believes in straight up Bitcoin maxi, because I believe there has reasons. Now, was I at one point in my life? For sure, but I still understand the purposes of some other coins, some other tokens. Now, when I first got into crypto, there was about like 1,000 to 1,500 coins or tokens, where now I can't even tell you how many thousands of coins or tens of thousands of coins and tokens there are, right? So each project has a couple of tokens. To me, everything from gaming, you think about where we purchase our car, leases for our home, for our cars, the when we own a home, you have to go to a city center to basically have these files. Imagine everything being on the blockchain and lasting for, right? That's number one. Number two, in New York City, also in Kosovo, due to energy crisis or energy reasons, you are not allowed to mine Bitcoin, right? Now, we have to come up with new, efficient, clean ways to use, right, to generate energy and use energy to mine Bitcoin. To me, that's where it's going to help save the world, because right now we have to move forward of how can we actually power something that's going to benefit every single person on Earth. Now, Satoshi gave every single person on Earth a bank account. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Statistics of El Salvador of people who own bank accounts compared to a few years later who own Bitcoin wallets or use Bitcoin is astronomical. You know what I mean? So we are very early. And I remember, again, we talked about memes earlier, in this video. The amount of the memes that I saw of like, this year, this is going to happen. This year, this is going to happen. And I remember just going through the years, and as I still go through, I'm like, I don't know who made that meme, but scary how accurate it was.
Yes.
You know what I mean? to
because
how we're at the adoption.
inflation is in the design of, you see what I mean?
100%.
I mean, to not have inflation, you have to design the system again. And
Right.
this is what they did with Bitcoin. They basically made a new system that has limited supply. And that's it.
Right. Not just a limited supply, the peer-to-peer network. Again, it's only 9 pages. You know, it only took 9 pages to explain to the world this new technology. You know, and to me, again, you know, there's only 21 million Bitcoin. There's about like 8 or 9 billion people on Earth, right? You know, and we are so early on this, and it's one of those things where there's 3 countries, I believe, to my knowledge, who use it as their currency right now. I believe El Salvador, a country in Africa, and I believe one other country in South. Yeah, so I forgot exactly which country. Also, another thing I will say, during the pandemic in 2020, I believe Nigeria had made Bitcoin illegal. When we were trading at 20, 30,000, they were trading at a premium about 50,000. Now, they understand in most countries, as you know, most countries around the world, and even as someone who's an American with the US dollar, and it might be stronger because of the US dollar, but I'll use Albania as an instance and just talk about my own place. The money is not only, unfortunately, almost worthless and depreciates a lot, but the people who are in power are very corrupt with cash.
Of course.
So, you know what I mean? It's one of those things where millions, if not billions, are stolen from money that should be put into our communities, money that should be put into our schools, into our infrastructure. You know, to me, the blockchain doesn't lie, right? You know, you can tell exactly where things are going. And people who are sitting there their whole lives, you see places like in Lebanon where they're burning banks down because their money is non-existent anymore. What did you work?
And for Bitcoin, you have a ledger that cannot be erased. You can go back in time and see everything. Even if you delete half of the network, you still will have a copy of the ledger.
Exactly.
So the problem of Bitcoin for these people is the accountability.
Right.
Is that you can go back in time and see everything. You see what I mean?
Yes.
When you are stealing in cash, it's easier. You just have to wait. You have to wait it in the balance. You see what I mean? And this was the case in my country, in Argentina. They calculated the amount of millions by the weight. Wow. So I know exactly what you're talking about, and this comes, together with the next question, because we said, I take from your response that the future for crypto is inevitable. Let's say inevitable. As you said, that people will, even the younger generation, will use crypto. So what do you think then about, let's say, the traditional banking system that in a way to me is phasing out? They want to phase it out, I think, with a CBDC. I don't know. I ask you, what do you think the traditional banking system, central banking, because it's totally the opposite of Bitcoin and fiat money in general?
So I'm going to try to stay away from conspiracy theories when we speak about this and just talk more about facts. For me, central, banks, I think are going to be more of a thing of the past, right? Because as someone who, while getting my finance degree, in about 3-4 years, I was able to move up to a managerial position within a bank, and I was able to do business development for the bank, and which is one of the reasons why I left to start my own business. And I saw the amount of money. Not only did they steal from people, but especially people who had no money. The amount of people who are unfortunately under the poverty line that were given fees for I forgot the exact word, but for going under in their account, negative basically. They were given a $5 fee. Like, you're getting charged money for having no money.
For having no money. Absurd.
Right. So overdraft fee, that's what it was.
Overdraft, yes.
For me, again, why should I use a bank at all? You know what I mean? Like, why would I have my money in a bank? Number one, you might be FDIC insured, but look at how banks are failing. People are online. I remember when my last day at bank in corporate was March 14th. March 16th of 2020, basically everything had shut down.
I remember.
And so it wasn't by plan. I had no idea. Just got very, I guess, lucky or unlucky, right? With the timing, depending how you're looking at it. And I remember people coming in and freaking out, some older customers that we had, asking for their money. And we were told from people higher up within the bank, to basically whatever you do, don't give money.
Imagine,
you know what I mean?
Imagine this. We are talking about first world, huh? United States. Right. It's not Argentina, my country. You see what I mean?
In America, convince them why they should keep their money in there and not to panic. And this is COVID.
If they want, they will not give you your money. If they want, they can keep it.
Exactly.
So, and why you will give your money to a bank? They will of course give it to another person for a fee. They don't give you nothing. They don't give you nothing in return. And in any case, if something happens, they cannot give it back to you.
Right. And like you said, we were talking about earlier, the DeFi wallet currently being at 11%. What do they give you? 0.01%, right?
Exactly.
The bank? So there's really no points to, have money with them. And when you get into Bitcoin, forget the financial gains you can make, right? The power to have your own money, know your money is safe, and use it as you wish, to me, is greater than anything.
I think you said something very important. I never thought about it. Bitcoin gave everybody a bank account.
Right. So, they're your own bank. You know what I mean? And
yes,
like I remember watching a video of a gentleman in Nigeria, and he said, we don't care what the price of Bitcoin is. We need Bitcoin, right? It's not the price of Bitcoin, it's the technology behind it. And that's the thing that people don't understand, right? When you come from countries where we come from, or places outside. Now, I was lucky enough to be born in America, have generations, we're from America. There's places in the world where, like you said, and I can name multiple countries on every single continent, where people are having troubles today about getting money from a bank or their currency being worthless. Their pensions, life savings are now worthless. And to me, that's the difference, right? So, we are going to get into Bitcoin. I just hope that people get into Bitcoin before it becomes a tragic event or a last, step. You ever hear, what's the thing? Like, learn from my mistakes, don't learn from your own mistake, in a sense.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So people, I hope, learn about Bitcoin before it's too late, pretty much. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. Exactly what you mean. What do you think about people that says, okay, fine, Bitcoin is beautiful, it solves a lot of things, but if I want to sell my Bitcoin because I want to use it in the real world, we will use the real world right? I have to sell it for fiat. So what gives the value to Bitcoin? Yes, I can have a lot of Bitcoin, but if I cannot sell it for fiat, what is the value then? This is a question I get a lot.
Yeah. Two things I'll say here. Number one, I personally believe that Bitcoin is going to strengthen the US dollar over time, because there's no one that's going to sell their Bitcoin for any other currency besides US dollar, to me.
Okay.
Right? That's why I think US dollar will strengthen, number one. Number two, why would you, right now, many people don't accept Bitcoin, but and I'll give you, I guess, an exclusive right to your video, because you're my first YouTube video I have. One of the reasons, for anyone who's watching this, that I'm in Albania is because I want to help make a difference and have people understand the importance of Bitcoin, right? There's people now, when I go to shops, whether it be a coffee shop, a clothing shop, that it says Bitcoin accepted here. You might not be able to use Bitcoin everywhere currently, but you won't have to exchange Bitcoin for dollar come to a certain point. There is 7 decimal places for 1 Satoshi. It's 7 zeros and a 1.
Yes.
That's, I believe, to my understanding, 100 million, right? So
we need to do the math, but yeah, can be
somewhere around there. So and I apologize for Satoshi. We'll have to find out. I should probably know it, but
I will put it in the screen. Don't worry. I will put it here on the side.
So the Bitcoin is a token, right? A coin, right now, that's worth $30,000. It's worth way more than that. And when 1 Satoshi is about $1, you will not have to trade it for anything. Does that make sense? Things will not be priced in US dollar or your currency, whichever country you're watching this. Hopefully, we have users from all around the world. Things will be priced in Satoshi, not 1 Bitcoin, but 5 Satoshi, 10
I see
Satoshi.
what you mean. So you will be buying things with Bitcoin, but because of the value of Bitcoin itself, I can sell a house for 10 Bitcoin, and I don't need to change it to the US dollar, because itself will have a value. It will have a reflected value, let's say, but I can keep it like that. I don't need to, you see what I mean? I don't need to exchange it back to fiat. You will have,
right. I believe that will get to an extent when, you know, we joke about Bitcoin crashing from 60,000 to 15,000.
yes,
but when Bitcoin is, you know, $100 million, and if it goes to, you know, 80 million, whatever it might be, I'm just throwing random numbers out there. The difference in your Satoshi will not be as huge as it is now.
I see.
And the amount that's going to be in circulation, the amount that's being held, again, things won't be $5. They'll be 5 Satoshis. You understand? So you'll be Bitcoin for goods instead of your Bitcoin for cash. That's what
exactly. I see exactly what you mean. It will become finally a currency.
Right.
In a way.
Exactly.
Yes, because it's not really yet defined, or the people that wants to define it cannot define it yet. It is a security, like a stock, let's say, or it is a currency, or it is, you see what I mean? But right. What you're saying is that in the end, it will be currency. And you will be okay. It's an amazing photo, and can change the world completely.
Right.
Also, imagine no central authority.
Right.
And this is what they are afraid. And this is why they want to launch the digital dollar, I guess the CBDC, because then you have a central authority that you don't have with Bitcoin.
And to go back to what you were saying, the central bank digital currencies, you see in China what they're doing, where if you were to get a ticket, money is automatically taken from your account. Right? With facial recognition, they know who you are. There's no need to send you a ticket. You go to court the way the American system is. Okay, this is the crime you made. That's it. Now, they also control your entire currency, which is the opposite, like you said, of Bitcoin. So why in the world would I use a central bank digital currency when I can have Bitcoin? And I think when central currency comes out and people understand what it truly is, that's where we'll also see a huge jump in numbers of the people who get into Bitcoin.
It will crash in a way the system, because they can also put quotas on it. They can say to you, no, you can spend 100 per day only on this, only on that.
I believe it was France who recently passed a law where I think you cannot make a purchase of over 1,000 euros in cash or something.
Yeah, right? No, the CBDCs are it will be a problem. Huh? I don't know how they will want to. They will sell it well. Huh? They will make a good pitch to sell it. Huh? They will even. I think they will even do how you say, an airdrop to people.
Yeah. Right, in exchange for what you have to the CBDC. But
exactly.
You know, to me, again, people who are not only in crypto, but the younger generations, I cannot imagine them going towards central bank digital currencies. You know, for lack of a better word, people who, I mean, I guess, again, shout out to the Boomer Squad, but more of the boomers in the world who trust their cash are going to be the ones using it, you know? But
yes,
it's sad to say, but the only thing guaranteed in this world, right, is you're going to move on and change your life to another. So those people will eventually move on. The people who are growing up now that are in their teenage years, when they get into their own power, and when they get into government, when they start businesses, when they get into the careers, they're going to want their payments made in Bitcoin.
Good, man. Good. I like everything you're saying. Huh? So this comes then together in a way. When do you think the next real bull run, let's call it, will happen? We know the halving of Bitcoin is next year, summer, for me, around June next year. So when do you think the bull run, but the strong one, the one everyone is calling 100,000 for Bitcoin? And by the way, something I wanted to say before, and I forgot, people doesn't understand that the protocol, the Bitcoin protocol, doesn't account for Bitcoin price. It doesn't know the Bitcoin price. It doesn't care. Bitcoin can be $0 in dollars. It doesn't affect the blockchain and doesn't affect the way the protocol works. Price is not accounted into the protocol. This is something I wanted to say because I forgot what we were talking before. So when do you think, talking about protocol, the halving is coming next year, when do you think, because I say halving because to me it's correlated. I think the halving something will do. When do you think the next bull run can happen? Because I say will happen like it will happen. So let's say it can happen.
So again, like I will say from the beginning, for us, and you know, when I was in school for finance, it's one of those things where none of us truly know anything what's going to happen in the markets, right? I also say, obviously, not financial advice. I think you and I, both our words are taken very serious what we say. When you look at the 3 previous halvings that came with Bitcoin, right, 2020, 2016, I think 2012, each year following the halving, we had a huge bull run. So I believe we're about 11 or 12 months, they say, from around the estimation of when the next halving will happen.
Yes.
To me, the end of the next year to the beginning of 2025, and I think it'll be a bull run that lasts a little bit longer. You might not have a huge increase in price like you've seen previously, but I think it'll be longer over time, is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
Now, to me, it's very important for people to understand, how do I sell? You said before, if I have Bitcoin and I want to sell it, this is one of those things. Everybody wishes, including myself, they sold at tops. They had something they could have made a lot of money on. The things to keep in mind for the future is during these low times is when you should be building and when you should be stacking, right?
Yes.
Dollar cost average. If you do not know what that is, please look it up and understand it. You do not have to put every single dollar into it right away, but making sure you are safe, making sure you have money for dumps, because they will always happen, is very important. To me, when that bull run happens, I know for myself, speaking firsthand, those are the times you want to sell for not only whatever you want to sell for. I personally will either get into a certain US dollar or put it into, coin, or put it into US dollar itself, not USDC or USDT in particular, but just something in that aspect. It's one of those things where we were going to have a huge jump because of a lot of people getting into crypto during this bear market, right? A lot of people left, but still a lot of people have joined and stayed, which is amazing. It didn't happen as much last time. So to me, 2025 is when we'll see the height of the bull run, is what I personally believe.
Okay. So it's not 2024 will start. We will see a trend that, as you said, is sustained and slow, and probably 2025 we could have, let's say, we are not financial advisors, and this is not financial advice. We're not saying go and buy anything, but we agree that 2025 could be a good year, maybe for crypto in general, for Bitcoin. That would be awesome. Huh? And imagine crypto.com, how many users could have by 2025. Huh?
Exactly. 2 more years from now.
It's a big thing. So are you ready for the next bull run then? I guess yes. This is a question.
Yeah. I think it's very, let's just say, getting ready, right? You never have enough of anything that you're looking to invest in crypto.
At some point, you need to spend some. Huh? At some point, you will have to spend some.
Yeah, for sure. And Web3 NFTs, you're gonna spend some, but still, make sure you have it going. So
amazing, man. So we are coming now to the end of the interview. It was an amazing talk, and we should do it again.
Definitely,
because it's amazing all the things you can talk, and the time passes is but we will do it again. This is just the beginning, of course. So the final question is a classic one. What do you hold, if you can tell us? Huh?
I'll tell you my top coins, I guess, that I like. Let me put
okay. Yes. Let's put it that way.
Yes. I'll give you coins that I personally like. Again, like we said, not financial advice. Not saying I buy it, you buy it. Just coins that I think have a big purpose. Number one, I think is obvious, Bitcoin. Number two, I found Ethereum very early because, and I'll give you a quick history. When Bitcoin hit $1, my uncle told me about it. And he said, listen, man, put $1,000 into it. You'll buy 1,000 Bitcoins. He called it bit something. He's like, I don't know what it is, but I read a bunch of people but millionaires off of it. I made the mistake. I didn't do it. In 2014, I went to Albania. Everybody was mining Ethereum. Now, Ethereum came out late 2013. It was brand new. When I came back to America, I had the understanding, tried to get the understanding of how I should mine Ethereum. Couldn't wrap my head around it, and kind of left it there. When I went back in 2017, I saw the differences in everybody that minted Ethereum in their lives. People that were minting Ethereum, people that were mining Ethereum, the differences that were in their lives in a country where the average wage is between 300 to 500 euros a month.
Imagine,
you
yes. Yes.
So, and we're not talking about huge. We're talking about Ethereum going from like $0 basically to like 100 at most, which is still a huge increase.
Of course.
So When I came back 2017, I was more full in to my degree. I went full run with crypto. Ethereum is a token where when I first found it, and I really started doing my research for it, I would trade it, but I didn't actually like it because there was not a capped supply. But I will say, getting into NFTs, I understand the importance, the amount of people that are in it, and I believe in it more.
Okay.
Right? Crypto.com coin, I think is, Chronos token is pretty simple right there. One of the things we spoke about mostly. Shout out to the crofam, not just the
Of
original
course.
crofam, that,
Shout
but
out
the
to the
people who are
crofam, of course, guys, to all of them. Amazing people. The best community in crypto for sure. Huh?
The amount of people that for a small community has made a difference in so many other chains is actually incredible from crofam. So huge
Exactly.
shout out to you. That's the third one. Number 4 for me will have to be, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, perfect. I got the battery signal. For me, after that, I think we'll have to go Polygon. I see the difference that they make not only on OpenSea, helping with Ethereum, the gas fees. They're obviously just a huge market in general. And when it comes to gaming, shout out to Polygon and Immutable X and the two people who are building on them. I think that they are making a huge change in the industry. And them having a collaboration is bringing a lot of gamers because they're able to do more for gaming and Web3 in general. Now, my fifth one is going to be AVAX. The reason I say
Okay.
that is because they are light years ahead when it
Just to
comes to
clarify,
game.
Polygon number 4 is Matic.
Yes, Matic. Polygon Matic is ticker number 4. So again, Bitcoin, and maybe it's a little cliche, but Bitcoin, Ethereum, Crypto.com, Polygon Matic number 4, and number 5 is going to be AVAX is a ticker, Avalanche is a token. When it
Yes.
comes to game, they are light years ahead of other networks. I believe they are building some grade A gaming. And to me, I think that's going to be a big difference because a lot of people who are looking to get into gaming, get into Web3 from the gaming space to Web2, are going to look to Avalanche. But again, Polygon and Immutable X, that's another reason to have them in there. A sleeper token that I'd probably put in there just for some fun. A few of them that I'll mention again. Smaller communities, smaller tokens. I think that number 1, Tezos, and number 2, VeChain are two communities that have made a big difference and are also coming up. The first time I heard about Tezos was in not called Shea Stadium anymore, Citi Field, Mets baseball. My brother and I saw a small logo a couple years ago. When we went last year, we saw a big logo and more advertisements throughout the stadium. New York City has about 10 million people within the 5 boroughs. You count the greater New York City area is about 20 million people. VeChain, they also made a collaboration with UFC. They are another crypto partner, as is Crypto.com. And to me, so many people are going to see Crypto.com, are going to see VeChain, and they're going to want to get into those two chains. And they're obviously very small when it comes to volume, when it comes to projects, as well as price currently. So that's pretty
good to name also the small players that you see potential, that you see. So we had Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cronos, Polygon, Avalanche. Then you named Tezos and VeChain.
Yes.
And no meme coins that you like?
I will say, I used to trade Dogecoin when I was on Binance, for the exchange a long time ago, and I would trade it, man, like 000, 000. I used to have so much of it. I could have, that's one of those ones that hurts. There's a lot of, I think everybody in crypto looks back and says, shit, I had a lot of those.
You're talking about Dogecoin, right? Dogecoin.
Yeah. Dogecoin.
We know the story of the Dogecoin millionaire. You know the story of that guy.
Yeah. So there's so many people who made a lot of money. I used to have tens of millions, like the higher amount of tens of millions, where I would trade it because at that time the volume was in still. And again, to trade something from 0001 to 0002 is double your money, for an example. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I never thought to hold on to it. It was built off the Litecoin network, which again, I'll give a shout out to Litecoin because I was always an advocate for Litecoin. I liked it. It has 4 times the supply, very similar to Bitcoin. Fast transactions, cheap transactions.
Yes.
And it's actually time.
And if I'm not mistaken, Litecoin was the first, coin that came out of Bitcoin. Was the second one, I believe, in the world. Huh? You see
Okay,
what I
wow.
mean? Was
Yeah.
how you say, was out of the same protocol of Bitcoin. I lost the word now in English, but it was the first one in the world, I believe. Litecoin. I was
Right.
mining Litecoin with a Mac in
No.
2013.
Wow, that is yeah, and people Dogecoin is built off the Litecoin network. So
Yes,
to
yes.
me, but I know they plan on making their own network. But to me, I would like Litecoin for that time. Dogecoin was just something to throw in there, I guess, right? If you, I don't know if you I think received, right? If you mine Litecoin, they gave you Dogecoin almost for free at the time.
Yes.
It was so cheap, right? So, to me, you know, Shiba Inu was one that I got into. Listen, what I would say to people, I had a friend who told me about Shiba Inu, and I was like, listen, man, this, I don't like meme coins. He's like, bro, just put $300 into it and your life will change. This and that. I was like, bro, I don't like meme coins. The next day, he sent me a picture of his $300. I think it was worth like over $600 something. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just forget about finance, what I know for a little bit, and let me just kind of just throw this shit in there. Yes. I did the same thing and been very early and got lucky on Shiba Inu at the time.
Why not?
Yeah, and the thing I will say though is they do a great job not only of onboarding, but they're also innovative, man. The people in Shiba Inu supposedly are building a lot, even Dogecoin with Elon Musk. Like, you can't bet against it, right? Elon Musk is one of the best. So
and I'm the kind of person that have a budget for everything. So I have also a budget to buy shitcoins. Why not?
Yeah.
I'm not putting all I have. You see what I mean? It's like going to the casino. You maybe lose. Well, probably you will lose, but it's part of the budget.
Right. And listen, again, dollar cost average. I coming from a finance place, what I'll say is understand how much money. If you take any way, and first of all, man, thank you for your time and for not only for the questions, but sharing this time with me, being my first YouTube video. I truly appreciate you, not only for what you do, helping with me, but for the crofam and crypto in general.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. I'm to me, I'm flattered that you chose me to do this. Honestly.
Hey, thank you, man. Seriously. And for me, it's one of those things where find out how much money you make on a monthly basis, how much money your expenses, or excuse me, how much money is being spent on expenses, how much you can save, right? And cold hard cash or whatever it might be in your bank, and how much you can afford to invest. And when you invest slowly on a weekly, bi-weekly, monthly basis, whatever is safest for you who's watching this video, your life will change over a certain amount of time, and that's one of the things, not only for yourself. And one thing I will say, coming from Albania, my family, ethically, I'm from Albania, and coming back here, it's a negative almost outlook where every single person who talks to me, I get the answer, why did you come back? Or why are you here? Right? And if I can show people, I'm coming from the place where everybody's trying to go to, and because we have that now, when my family went a long time ago to America, you had to go because that's where the work was, right? New York City is where the work was. New York City is where the money was. The internet now gives us New York City everywhere.
Exactly.
Right where you're from, you have New York City in the mountains or in any city around the world. So wherever you're from, you're watching this, it doesn't matter how much money you make on a monthly basis. Understand that your life will change for the better. Discipline, number one, and education, number two, are huge things that will make a difference in everybody's lives.
Exactly, man. This is a huge what you're saying because, also discipline got me where I am.
Right.
Coming from a person that, to me, discipline was always hard, I have to admit. And if you talk about DCA, daily cost average, this basically is the definition of discipline. It's the definition of this. You buy with what you can buy on a budget you made, depending on your income, and you buy whether it's up or whether it's down. And this is discipline. This is having a plan. I talk a lot in my YouTube channel. It's a little bit about financial freedom, if you want. I advocate about having a plan. Don't play getting rich fast. Right. Because you hear these stories and you think, it happened to my neighbor, it will happen to me. Be careful, because they only tell you when they win. They never tell you when they lose.
Yes,
You
yes.
see,
100.
they will never. You will cross all these traders that they will teach you to make $1,000 per day, but they never show you their losses. So
Right.
have a plan, have a long-term plan, have a budget, have discipline, have DCA, educate yourself, understand what you are putting the money into. For me, this is huge. Imagine I have a YouTube channel. People comes and see my videos and say, he's making 10% with the DeFi wallet. Okay, but before you put CRO in a DeFi wallet, understand what it is. Educate yourself. Don't just follow and imitate. You see what I mean? Right. So as you said, I'm in a way, I will call it business. It's not a business, but I'm in the business of teaching or education, if you want, and I'm educating myself all the time. I don't know everything.
Right.
I try to transmit. And this is why I open my YouTube channel, to show that anybody, as you said, I don't know who will watch this video. I hope it is 1,000 and thousands of people. I hope we can make a record in the channel. Have discipline, have a plan. Nothing comes fast. Everything takes time because we live in hurry mode. We live in fast mode, you see? We want everything right now. No, things take time. It's like that.
Yeah.
The problem in crypto is that you see people buying Shiba Inu and the next day they are millionaires. Can happen. I don't say it cannot happen, but probably will not happen to you. You see what I mean? The best way is to have a plan.
Yes, and to me, that's what, watching Bitcoin go from 20,000 to 3,000 at the time was very depressing. But even if you purchase Bitcoin at 20,000, we are sitting at 30,000 6 years later. Your dollar 6 years later, whichever currency you're using, I can promise you is worth a lot less.
Of course. The dollars you're holding are not gaining value, are losing value, and this is a trend. It's not that it can go up or it can go down. No. The trend is to lose value.
Yes.
Because they print a lot of money and they will keep printing. So the trend of so you either can put your money in a fiat currency and have a slow decrease of value, or you even can put some of your money in an asset that has a variation of price, but if it comes to solve things and is well made, can give you a very high gain in the future. It's your choice. Is your choice.
For sure. And exactly like you're saying, man, it's one of those things where can we get something to help and bring the world together? Bitcoin is that thing that's going to connect us all. It's going to help us all make that difference. And if we can understand, why we need Bitcoin, why we should use it, I think that, again, not to get political, but almost every government in the world has almost taken advantage of the people that they're, you know what I mean? And to me, it's very unfortunate. To me, we, the people, and I don't care what country you're from, what you believe in, which language you speak, we are one people, right? We're one species. We're on this earth, and this ball pretty much floating into space. And for thousands of years, all we've been doing is hurting each other. Bitcoin is a thing that will bring the world together on so many different levels. And again, man, I just wish everybody much love and peace. And I'm very thankful for just the way my life has gone, because there's been so many moments where I look back now where I was down, whether it was loss of money, in a bad situation. And if each moment didn't happen, I wouldn't have the opportunity to get to a new opportunity, to get to where I am right now on the YouTube channel with you, my good sir.
Yes. Thank you, man. Kind words. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, my good man. And again, I appreciate not only the time for today, for this space, but good luck to you with not only the endeavors with Twitter, YouTube, whatever it might be. Hopefully, we not only have financial freedom, not only do we reach our successes, whatever our goals might be, but I hope that we can help whoever's watching these videos reach it as well.
Of course. And we will do this again. It's just the beginning.
For sure, my good man. Trust me, I'm just getting started with YouTube, and appreciate you being the first
I want to be I will be your YouTube channel one day.
Yes, yeah. For sure, my good man, for sure. So I appreciate
it. Okay, my man. Thank you very much for your time. And let's see how it goes.
Thank you. You got it, man. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you, man. Ciao, ciao.